This is Mark Bell from SuperTraining Gym. SuperTraining Gym, the strongest gym in the West. And this is footage from Sling Shot Record Breakers. Really excited, really proud to be a part of this. It was great to get with my homie, Jesse Burdick, and to help him and support all these lifters that were in this meet to put on such an awesome event. Here we got Glass Joe. This guy trains at a SuperTraining Gym. Remember Glass Joe? He was like 1-99. He had one victory. There's Kara Weston, always working the scores table. Kara has been an integral part in helping run these meets. And we need a tremendous amount of support when we're running these competitions. We need help from spotters and loaders. And then on top of it, it always helps to have fans there. And we had a tremendous amount of, a tremendous amount of fans there. So that was really great. And you could see from the footage, you're going to see Ed Cohn. That's him right there. The greatest powerlifter of all time. 887-pound conventional deadlift, 901-pound sumo deadlift. And here we got Riley. He's from ST as well. A lot of the guys from ST ended up doing really well. They ended up getting huge PRs. Some of these guys are newer lifters, so they're not like lifting 800-900 pounds or anything like that at the moment. Hopefully they someday get to that point. But it's great. It's a great community to be a part of. It's great to be part of powerlifting. I strongly suggest a lot of you listening to this and watching this, trying to learn how to squat, learn how to deadlift, learn how to bench, to go to a powerlifting gym. Try to go to a powerlifting meet. People often ask, how do you get involved in powerlifting? Well, the place where I would start with going to a powerlifting competition, because that's where you're going to run into power lifters, and you're also going to run into powerlifting coaches, and someone's going to tell you about a powerlifting gym, a local powerlifting gym, because it can be very hard to do this on your own, to learn this on your own. Here's Riley getting all fired up, getting himself all worked up for this. I believe he tries about a 500-pound squat coming up here, and it's important that the lifter is mentally ready for the lift. And so you're trying to go through your checklist of, knees out, keep the stomach tight, all these different things. But at the same time, you just want to make sure emotionally that you're fired up for it. And everybody's a little different. Some people don't like that fire up. For some people, it really screws them up and throws them off. And then for some of us, it really helps us. So let's see how Riley does on this squat here. Really good, strong on rack right there. Very good power out of the bottom, but it just looked like he just lost his balance more so than anything. It looks like he just kind of fell back. And some of that has to do with experience. Next time he tries that 500-pound squat, I bet that he'll nail it. This powerlifting federation that we're associated with is called the SPF, which stands for Southern Powerlifting Federation. And the reason why I chose to be part of this federation years ago was at the time, it was the only powerlifting federation that offered single-ply, multi-ply, and raw. Remember, years ago, they did not acknowledge raw lifting. They just put it in with everybody else. So if you're a raw lifter, then you were at a disadvantage because you were put in with single-ply and multi-ply lifters. You did not get credit for lifting raw. There was nothing special about it at that time. Here we got Baby Fat Matt with blasting up a 507-pound squat. Looked pretty fast, looked pretty easy. Here's my boy, BFT, Big Fat Tito, a.k.a. Emilio Paez. Emilio has been working really hard, and in this training cycle, he got hurt at least 2 or 3 different times, and so it really slowed down his ability to end up with a bigger total on the platform than he wanted. But he still ended up having a tremendous day. Still ended up hitting some pretty good squats and some pretty damn good deadlifts, which you'll see the deadlift at the end of this. This is John. John trains at SuperTraining as well. He's also known as Mini Thunder, Mini Filipino Thunder. And he's built up a lot of strength over the last couple weeks and months. And Marcus, Filipino Thunder himself, has been the one programming for these guys, helping these guys out with their lifts. Here's Jack Drew, as we like to call him. Drew has also been working hard. Drew has not competed that much in the past. He's been with SuperTraining for a long time. You can see myself announcing and doing some commentary. Here we got my boy BFT lining up on a squat, 644 pounds. Handled that pretty good. He could probably maybe shift those hips back a little bit more and have a little bit more of an upright posture. Might have made the squat a little bit easier, but starting to handle some big boy weights, and so it gets to be difficult to posture into these movements and to really have good, strong control. Here we got my boy Tony Montgomery going. Tony has lifted with everybody. He's lifted with Dan Green. He's lifted with Jesse Burdick. He's lifted with myself. And now he has his own gym. I believe he's up in Oregon. And Tony's kind of doing his own thing up there now. And congratulations to him on an awesome day. That was a really, really beautiful squat right there. And here we got Dan Bell, no relation to me, going with a 903-pound squat. And Dan Bell's a very upright, postured lifter. Bar's a little high, and his posture is upright, and he's not leaning forward. It's all kind of quads, but he's got really strong, powerful quads. Here goes Steve Gentili, smashing that squat, 804-pound squat. That's a big PR squat for him on the day, and I think he was really pumped and excited about that. He struggled in the squat and was able to turn this day around and end up with a huge squat. Here's Bill Rowe. Bill was bringing it all day. Here's an 832-pound squat. Let's see how he does with this. Good positioning from the get-go. Doesn't round over, doesn't fold. Kept his position the entire time. Remember, that's what powerlifting's all about. Find a position and stay there no matter what, and then take those weights to the range of motion necessary to get those white lights. I have a feeling that Andy Huang is going to show us how it's done right here. This guy's an absolute monster on Instagram. He's that huge Asian guy, and that huge Asian guy just smashed an 826-pound squat. Kind of a quad squatter, kind of a knees forward kind of squatter. And you're going to notice there's some different squatters out there. There's some guys that squat with their hips, and there's some guys that squat with their quads. But there's a little bit of in between from some lifters. Good attempt there, but just ended up kind of folding over. And you can see what these big weights do, no matter how big and strong you are, these weights at some point, they're going to fold you over like a deck of cards, and they're going to make you look like a fishing rod. They're going to make your back so rounded over. These are some dangerous, dangerous weights. And here's an 870-pound squat from Marcus, a.k.a. Filipino Thunder. This is a huge PR for him, and he just absolutely smashed it. Makes me think that he probably would have been good for 887 to the 900-pound range. And you can see me congratulating him there. I'm on the platform with him. It's really, emotional to help some of these lifters and to be so close to them and to be friends with them and then kind of see them end up carrying out their hopes and dreams. It's really, really cool. There's just some massive, massive lifting going on all day. This is Chris Bridgeford. For those of you that don't know who this guy is, you should know who he is because he's an absolute beast. You're going to see at the end of the competition when he goes for a 903-pound deadlift what a monster he is. This is Jesse Anderson. I saw this kid squat over 900 pounds at 19 years old, and here he is with 859 pounds. Trains out of Reno, and he helps an entire group of lifters. I think they probably have about 20 lifters, and they're some of the stronger lifters I've ever seen, and I don't even know half of their names. I mean, these are guys that are literally coming out of the woodwork. They're coming out of nowhere, and they're lifting some huge weights. Daniel Bell is going again here. Now he's up to a 1,003-pound squat. Notice that upright posture, how tall he's standing. Trying to use that beard power, and just didn't have it today. Just didn't have the legs under him today to hit the squat that he wanted. But even with the 1,000-pound squat, it's still picture perfect form. The knees are still coming out. He's still holding that chest up. We want to maintain and really lock our bodies into a position and make sure our bodies do not. Look at this signed pair, an autographed pair of gangster raps right there. But you really want to make sure that you're really locking in your back and that you're really locking in your positioning, locking in your arms, and just finding a position that, yeah, it may be uncomfortable, but this is powerlifting. It's not always going to feel great. And on the bench, on the squat, on the deadlift, we're always trying to get our chest up, and we're always trying to keep our elbows down and in and close to our body on all three lifts. That's typically what we're trying to do. Each person may be a little different, so there may be some variance on some of that. But for most of us, that's what we're trying to do. That's the goal. That's the initiative. Here we got Kevin Ogar going. Kevin is an absolute monster. He's lifted some big weights in his time. Those of you that don't know about his injury, Kevin was doing a CrossFit style workout some years ago when a barbell kind of double ricocheted and hit him, as he says, just right, and left him paralyzed from the waist down from that day onward. And but he's still trucking on. He still has a great attitude. He teases us about it. He teases himself about it, and he tries to just make himself happy and have fun rather than being in misery about the things that have happened to him. He really makes the most of it. And there he is with a 380-pound bench press. When he came to my gym, I was really inspired watching him wheel himself up to the bench, watch him getting on the bench and putting himself on the bench and off the bench, and the amount of effort that took made me think about how lazy I am when sometimes I don't even feel like changing the weights. Nice attempt there at 341 pounds and able to squeak it out because of the technique. You keep your form and technique, you're going to be in alignment and you're going to have the best chance possible of hitting that bench. You want the elbows to be tucked in close to the body, and then as you come up, you do want to flare out slightly, and you also want to push the weight towards your throat. You want to push the weight towards the rack a little bit, not only just upward, but also back towards the rack as well. Here's Emilio going again, BFT. His grip, in my opinion, is a little too close, and that's something we're gonna work on. Some guys can bench that close like that, but for Emilio, for his size and his height, how long his arms are, I don't think it's a great match. Here's Jimbo Cooper going with a 540-pound bench, and that was a joke. He also squatted over 700 pounds, and he also ends up deadlifting around 710 pounds, which you'll see coming up here at the end of the meet. We got Jack Drew going again with a 380-pound bench press. We got many people at SuperTraining Gym that had many different hopes, dreams, goals, people of many different sizes and ethnicities. But the gym, no matter who you are, the gym is free. And we get a lot of new members all the time. There's Marcus, Filipino Thunder, locking out a big PR on the bench. I think it's over a 20-pound PR for him. Just on fire all day long. And we selected his numbers really well. Marcus, even though I do coach and help him here and there, he pretty much does it all on his own, and he's coaching a lot of the athletes here at SuperTraining, and even more so than just coaching them, he's programming for them and programming even for himself. So I give him some advice here and there when he squats and deadlifts and things like that. He and I will talk about certain bigger situations, but he does everything. He's really smart with how he programs for himself and how he programs for some of our athletes as well. And I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of how the whole team did in response to Marcus kind of taking over these roles, and just a great feeling. Like, he's doing great with it. The whole team's doing really well. 513-pound bench press grinded out by Tony Montgomery. Really, really awesome bench. Tony is a grinder. He can grind out squats, benches, and deadlifts. Now we got a 523.5-pound bench press by Andy Huang right here. You can see a little pop from the hips right there, but just because the hips popped, it doesn't mean that the ass was off the bench enough to get him disqualified from that attempt. If you're squeamish, I feel sorry for you, because this is a really brutal lift right here, a really brutal attempt from Steve Gentili. 600 pounds, he ends up tearing his pec on this one. So if you don't like to see these kinds of things, you don't like bad mojo, don't watch. Put the women and children to bed and look away from the screen, because that is a torn pec, ladies and gentlemen. That is a very difficult thing to come back from. Hopefully it's not a complete rupture, but it kind of looks like it was. Here's Jeremy Hornstra, one of the greatest bench pressers of all time, with an opening attempt of 621 pounds. He made that look kind of easy. Some people may question the way that he lifts the weight, and the weight's going to be lifted the same way over here by the big boy Julius with his 716-pound opener. A lot of guys will use that technique, and that's something I did in my career. I drop the weight and throw it. Drop the weight and throw it. That was kind of how I did it. I tried to get the timing down, and I tried to push every ounce I could into the weight. But in my opinion, anybody that uses that technique would be stronger if they didn't use that technique in their training. They only used it for game day. 699-pound pull. By Emilio Paez, very strong deadlift at the end of a very long day. Fantastic job by him. Here's Jimbo Cooper at 242 pounds, pulling 710 pounds. We had lifters from all over the world. I believe this guy was from Finland. We had people from kind of all over the globe. Here's a 496-pound lift. This guy's banged up at this point in the meet, and so he's just trying to kind of hang in there. If you're wondering, like, where's the footage from all the other lifters? Well, you can go back and check all this stuff out in a live stream. We did not include every single lifter that was in the meet in this particular clip. There's Steve Gentili with an opening 500-pound deadlift that he didn't even do with a hook grip. It's just double overhand. He just picked it up like a monster, like a Neanderthal. He wanted to see if he could still deadlift at the end of the day after that torn pec. And here's Filipino Thunder with a 628-pound deadlift. Marcus knocks Dave Ziski off the list for squat and knocked him off the list for total in the 308-pound weight class on our record board here at SuperTraining Gym. So Marcus is awarded $500 for that feat of strength, and I thought it was fantastic. And speaking of giving out money, we gave out over $8,000 at this competition to 4 different lifters who broke numerous all-time world records, world record totals, world record squats, world record benches, but it was all given out to women and not men because none of the men were able to step up to the plate to break any records. So what I'm doing is I'm going to give out $1,000 to anyone that breaks an all-time world record wearing our powerlifting gear. So if you wear a pair of our knee sleeves, you wear a pair of gangster wraps, you wear our stuff on the platform, break an all-time world record, and you will be awarded, look at this freaking deadlift, you would be awarded $1,000. We'll post more stuff about that coming up. Herbie the Love Bug with the 859-pound deadlift. Look at the back on this guy and the traps and the neck. That is one serious dude. That is one jacked mofo, as they say. So here's a 903-pound attempt from Chris Bridgeford, and he did not get credit for this lift. Something weird happened as he got to the top of the lift. I think he lifted it too easy, and he got forward on his toes, so he didn't have it locked in quite long enough to get the down command, and he ended up just kind of like falling down. Look at Jesse Burdick. He looks great. Look at that. It comes out, and who else is a meat promoter that comes out in a suit and tie? He looks fantastic. That is awesome. Katie Hogan is a big part of helping run these competitions as well. I guess I should call her Katie Burdick. I don't even know if she's switched her name yet. But hopefully Jesse forces her to do that soon. They always put on a great competition together. I really appreciate both of them and appreciate Combat Sports Academy for allowing us to use their facility and put on an awesome contest at Sling Shot Record Breakers. Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never a strength. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you later.